I have already been introduced. There was a small mishap. Sometimes, in political spaces, the Muslims have said when you are wronged in public, you correct it in public. So that correction was done by the MC. There were some critical exclusions. I see very familiar faces, and I'm very encouraged. I see Dr. Spire, Julius, with whom we started CS Bag. Yes, I come from the civil society, and many women from the women's movement, the legal fraternity, and we from the informal sector. Honorable spoke very, very passionately with the facts. I reflected on a biblical phrase from the book of St. Matthew chapter 26 verse 64. You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Today we have known the truth. May we go and practice that this truth will set us free and set our country free. I speak as one of the victims, but from a position of power, who was abducted brutally by men, camouflaged, JAT and SFC in their uniform, almost naked because I was going to the bathroom. Kept incommunicado because I didn't know where I was, since my face was covered. Transported, head covered between Luzira and Gulu, very old as I am, on those roads. When you were speaking, I was on the back of those vehicles with my head covered. And many Ugandans innocently are going through that. When you are explaining to us, I saw and went through that emotional moment last Monday when I went to visit my colleague, Honorable Mwanga Chivumbi, in Chitalia, charged of terrorism, treason, yet his own people were murdered in cold blood. The mischief of the attempt in practice for this bill, and among others that are going to come, is to shut us up, is to scare us into death. Are we going to submit to that? Let us receive and exchange and engage in the truth, because they are sending us fear. Let us send hope and courage to open the doors. I am here in my capacity as the acting president of the mighty National Unity Platform Party. I bring you not only greetings, but the wise counsel and communication from the de facto and de jure president of the Republic of Uganda, His Excellency Robert Chagulanyi Sentamu, aka Obini. Distinguished guests, friends of Uganda, fellow Ugandans, ladies and gentlemen, I bring you warm greetings. I sincerely commend the leader of our parliamentary front and the team he has worked with under very, very difficult circumstances to prepare our alternative budget priorities for the year 2026/2027 financial year. that he continues to do such remarkable work despite unprecedented obstructions speaks volumes about the quality of leadership we are offering as is expected by the people. Let me once again express my deepest condolences to the families of the 4 innocent children who were recently murdered in cold blood in Gaba. May we all keep silent and observe that silence. May their innocent souls rest in eternal peace. Amen. And hope that justice will be served. This very weekend, we also witnessed the death of a young lady, Irene Nachivuka, who was abducted and tortured for simply supporting change. She joins hundreds of Ugandans who have lost their lives senselessly at the hands of a bloodthirsty regime. May her soul rest in peace, and may she and the many others get true justice someday. I will not repeat the technical details of our alternative priorities, for these have already been exhaustively discussed. Instead, I wish to speak to us all about the spirit behind these priorities. As you have already learned, more than half of Uganda's projected budget for the coming financial year is already unavailable for spending. Because of this reality, the alternative approach is grounded in common sense, not rare sense, my addition. We must put the ordinary Ugandan back at the center of government expenditure. In other words, our parliamentary front has laid before the country and the world our alternative fiscal vision for Uganda. A two-pronged vision in which Uganda's national resources are deployed. First, to the maximum benefit of those who matter most, its people. And second, to preserve and strengthen the institutions without which that first objective remains nothing more than wishful thinking. As we present these alternative priorities today, just like we presented a manifesto to Ugandans in the just concluded elections, we must not lose sight of the fact that we are not an opposition struggling to become government. We are a government in waiting. Effective 15th January 2026, when our victory was stolen. We were merely denied our mandate and forced to operate from the margins, while those who lost continue to desperately cling unto power. It therefore gladdens me to see that despite my absence from Uganda, the National Unity Platform Party continues to deliver on the mission of restoring freedom and democracy in Uganda. Anything short of this would have rendered academic the alternative priorities our team have presented today. I encourage all members and supporters of NuP, and indeed all Ugandans, who desire a better country to unite behind and continue to give full support to our leadership who continue to hold forth while I am away. On my part, I remain alive to the lesson history has taught us over and over again. The lesson that the diaspora is merely a different front of the same struggle. To that end, together with Ugandans in the diaspora, I am actively engaging key decision makers and international institutions to scrutinize lending legitimacy and resources to the Museveni regime. Because the money they sent does not help Ugandans. It's mostly lost to corruption by government officials. We are calling for targeted sanctions against individuals responsible for turning our country into a source of pain and suffering for those who call it home. We are building coalition with the global civil society to hold the Museveni regime accountable. We are making the case in every forum available to us that Uganda's future is its people, not General Museveni or whoever he is trying to impose on them. As for the rest of my fellow Ugandans in Uganda, your role also remains critical. Please, refuse to move on. Refuse to accept the fraud we witnessed in January. Continue to demand your victory. Demand it in every space available to you, and to you. Do not forget our comrades, the political prisoners, and us who still continue to go to court. My colleague, Her Excellency Jolie, is not here with us because today she had to appear in Kabale in court. And many others are doing that. Please visit them in prison. Attend their court hearings. Visit their families and support them in whichever way you can. Post about them on social media. Make it impossible for the world to forget about them. To make the alternative priorities we have presented today a reality, everyone must play their part in restoring Uganda to its rightful path. I thank you all for the sacrifices you continue to make along this journey and encourage you keep firm and united. I will see you all soon when I return to my motherland. The struggle continues for God and my country. His Excellency Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert, NuP President, de facto and de jure.